Let's get that big round of applause for the NTFL Buffaloes representing the territory. Let's really get behind it.
Good evening, you're watching AFL NT's coverage of the 2023 Cazalys NTFL representative match here from TIO Stadium in Darwin on Larrikia country. Tonight, the NTFL men's side are taking on South Fremantle. My name is Nick Danks and my commentary partners this evening are Stuart Davies and Ashley Manakaris. Good evening, guys. How are you?
Yeah, terrific. Thanks, Nick.
Yeah, going really well here, Nick. There's a big crowd.
Yeah.
There's a big crowd tuned in here to TIO tonight. Looking forward to a big game.
Well, just before we gear up for tonight's big match,
really
AFL NT and Northern Territory Football League would like to take this opportunity to thank their representative football weekend partners. Naming rights sponsor is Cazalys Palmerston Club, TIO,
third time in recent
Constructible
years
NT, Rapid Clean NT, Darwin Picture Framing, Thrifty Car Rental, CUB, Good Tides Hard Seltzer, Race Group, Territory Health Funds and Elite Physio. Also would like to thank our media and broadcast sponsors, Mix 104.9, Hot 100 FM, 7 Darwin, NT News and Kick Digital.
But also they brought a club club side up here in the 70s as well to play.
And we'd also like to take this opportunity to thank the artist of our NTFL representative training apparel.
Let's have a look at tonight's lineup though of the teams that are going to
is an
take the
incredible
field
local
today.
artist that draws on her time growing up.
So what do you
in
think
Bob's
expecting
Yard,
in tonight's match,
which
Ash,
is
with
a
this
little
lineup?
outstation around
Well, I've got to say to
390
you,
kilometres
the
south
big
of
thing for
Darwin,
me in this
friendly
lineup,
access
and I'm
by dirt
fascinated
road.
by
You can
Stu
read more
Davis's comments,
about
is
Sharona's
just how strong the
inspiration
Northern
for the
Territory
training apparel in
back
the
line is. The back
NTFL
six there is as good a
magazine,
back
so make
six
sure
as
you
you will
check that
find.
out.
And even over the decades when we had superstars like Michael Athanasio, Brian Long, Russell Jeffrey, Jacko McCoy, Warren McCoy, and of course the great Ted Liddy. You're seeing players like Ryan Nyhouse, Michael Bowden, Braden McLean, Brodie Newman, who has been outstanding this season, Mitchell Taylor, also outstanding for the Eagles, and Kieran Parnell, who at St Mary's has demonstrated week in, week out is his class.
Sensational. All of them have. And, of course, Mitchell Taylor, last season's representative game, was the medalist on the day. And, you know, the strength of that defence is probably highlighted by the fact that someone like Matthew amazing form as well.
He has been fantastic. And also in the middle there, Jared Stokes, Mitch Robinson, Dylan Collis. I've got to say, yeah, there's a little bit of pace there, but also some cleverness. Mitch Robinson, of course, the former Brisbane Lions defender, but he adds game he adds a real physicality to the midfield, but Stokes adds the pace.
Oh, pace and strength, Jared Stokes. You know, it's really low centre of gravity, strong in the hips, and could easily play as an inside midfielder as well, but they've got the luxury of being able to play him on the wing. And Cazalys, of course, has played a lot of his footy for Waratah down back over the last couple of seasons, but came up here as a wingman forward, but has developed into that defensive role. So they've got options as the game goes on.
I think, Nick, with Cazalys, they'll be looking for his long penetrating kicks off that midfield into which is probably where he's going to be most dangerous.
And of course, we're right in the middle of our NTFL season. South Fremantle finished 4th last year in the Waffle, lost in their first finals game to Peel, but come into this as part of their pre-season. Their season kicks off in April, of course, but the guys look pretty fit and strong out there already for their first run out for the year.
Yeah, sorry.
No,
they certainly do, and they were out early, done plenty of warm-ups, getting themselves familiar with the surface and the conditions, and they do look a fit unit. And of course, there's a few boys in there that are familiar to people in Darwin and the NTFL.
Yeah, of course, they've got Ashton Hams, who's starting on a half-back flank, and they've got Robbie Turnbull, who is a new signing for them. He'll start off the interchange. And Lockie Taylor, who played at your club, Stewie.
Yeah, that's right. He was a terrific player at St Mary's and played in the first of those 3 representative games against Glenelg a couple of years ago as an NT representative, so that was fantastic. And Hayden Schleith also has played some footy at Palmerston this year, so another connection there. And yeah, so they obviously bring some familiarity with the conditions and would let their teammates know a bit about what to expect.
Well, it's going to be one of the interesting battles of the night, as it always is in these rep games, is the battle of the midfield. And I noticed that South have kept up a tradition they've had there, where they've always had good-sized ruckmen, but very athletic ruckmen. And Solomon James looks to be fitting right into that category for them at South Fremantle. And then, of course, we've got Brodie Newman. Not Brodie Newman, it's Brock Carter, who plays at Pint. He's actually gone in there, and he too has been another one of those players. Pint's just coming into the NTFL season for the first time this year, who has put his hand up and demonstrated that he's actually a quality footballer.
Well, he's clearly been the standout ruckman in the competition in my eyes, and yeah, you just couldn't go past him for that first rucking spot in the representative team. Especially
from Pint, with just coming to the season this year. As he said, he played about 13 games in total, and for him to get into the side, he has been great right the way through. Expecting grounds in fabulous condition. The groundskeeper's done another great job up here at TIO Stadium. Expecting 31 degrees tonight, a clear night, 19-kilometre wind to the airport end, which is to the right of screen, so there'll probably be a goal advantage there. It's been blustering around, heading back towards the grandstand a couple of times, but mainly heading towards the airport end, as I said, right of screen.
Now the umpires are lining up in the middle, and there's a few. The interesting thing is that Mark Noonan, who is the game's record holder in the NTFL, will line up and officiate out there tonight in the midfield. He'll be wearing number 20. Number 5 in the umpires will be Tim Bitterscombe, who is himself actually a WA umpire. Comes up, the second season he's come up to umpire here in the off-season from down south. And Jacob Port, who is a regular inside the Men's Premier League, has also earned the right this year. So they have all earned the right to be officiate, as have all the other umpires out there tonight. Very experienced. The emergency umpire in the fields is Samson Bayman, who was actually only 16 years of age.
Fantastic, and it's terrific that those umpires do come up from interstate and add some strength to our umpiring ranks, and obviously gaining experience themselves for their own development.
It would, and look, it is remiss of me not to mention the NTFL side actually has 3 former, recently former AFL players in the context that Mitch Robinson, Stephen Motlop and Harley Bennell have all played within the last 2 years in the AFL, and Stephen Motlop and Harley Bennell will start on half-forward flanks.
Yeah, that's right, and Robinson in the middle, and they bring a heap of experience to the side.
You're watching the AFL NT's coverage of the 2023 Cazalys NTFL rep match from TIO Stadium in Darwin on Larrakia country. Tonight the NTFL men's take on South Fremantle. We're going to cross now to the Welcome to Country and the national anthem.
Cazalys representative football weekend. Yeah. Please welcome Janine McLennan from Larrakia Nation to provide a welcome to country.
As a Larrakia woman, I firstly acknowledge our Larrakia families, past, present and future. our lands for thousands of years, and we will continue to be welcoming people to our lands. I'd like to congratulate the AFL&T and their families for putting on this event and bringing the football games to us, the fans here in Darwin. So on behalf of our Larrikey ancestors and elders and families, Bachi, Bachi, Bachi. Welcome aunties and uncles from many nations. Welcome brothers, sisters and friends. Welcome to the South Fremantle Football Club and their fans who have travelled far to be here today. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the lands of the Larrikey people. Welcome to the Northern Territory representative game, NT versus Fremantle.
Thank you so much, Janine. Our players, our coaches and umpires will now link arms.
Hello, Charlie King here from the No More campaign. The campaign asks all Australians to say no more to family violence. The high and unacceptable levels of family violence in Australia are a national shame for all of us, but we can do something about it. We can link arms to symbolically show national unity. We can speak out against family violence, and we can encourage each other to be more respectful in our relationships.
Thank you to each of our players and coaches that have linked arms here this evening in support of No More. We may please ask everyone to please stand for the national anthem.
Australians, all let us rejoice, for we are one and free, with golden soil and wealth for toil. Our home is girt by the sea. Our land abounds in nature's gifts of beauty, rich and rare. In history's page, let every state of birds Australia fair. In joyful strains, then let us sing of birds Australia fair.
You're watching AFL&T's coverage of the 2023 Cazalys NTFL rep match from TAO Stadium here in Darwin tonight. The NTFL men's side taking on South Fremantle. My name's Nick Danks, my commentary partners Stuart Davies and Ashley Manakaris. Guys, Ash, what are you expecting from tonight's match?
I think this is going to be an open, free running, very fast game of football. I think it's going to get physical, and if the game gets tight, then I think there's going to be a lot of passion out there. Both sides have a long history of pride, and so I think that'll be on display. And can I also just say that there won't be a tied result tonight, so there will be an eventual winner. So there are rules in place around if the scores are tied at the end of the game, and I can explain those if that actually unfolds.
Yeah, I agree with you, Ash, and I think both sides are really aware of that history between the NT and the South Fremantle Football Club, and there's a lot of pride on the line, as you say, and I expect that South Fremantle will come out with some physical presence, but NT will be prepared to match that.
South Fremantle won the toss and decided to kick to the airport end with a slight breeze. It's at about a goal different breeze at the moment, so South Fremantle going to the right of screen, and we're not that far away from the start of the game. You picking a winner, guys, tonight, or are you going to keep your loyalty?
Oh, look, I'm going to go with the NTFL. I mean, they're in season. This is one of the better, and it's difficult to compare year on year, but this is one of the better NTFL rep sides I've seen.
Yeah, I think so too. I think match fitness, and that's shown out the last couple of years that they've just had the strength in the last quarter to be able to keep kicking on. I might just talk quickly about how the side is selected. It is an NTFL representative side, so it's not a side that represents all of the regions of the NT. It's the NTFL competition, which is based in Darwin, and to be eligible to play, you have to be playing for one of the clubs in the NTFL, have to be registered with one of the clubs in the NTFL, and have to be resident in Darwin. So we have players that fly in and fly out for the competition. They are ineligible to play in this game. So some people are confused about that.
Yeah, Matty Dennis is a good example of that from the Southern Districts Club. He's been the number one ruckman for a number of years, but he actually resides in the most southern part of Australia, in Tasmania, and flies up here. Can I also just say probably South chose that end, Nick, because they've done all their warm-up at that end. You know, they've just gone to the end that they know, rather than sort of mess things up psychologically. So we'll see what happens.
We will, and we're ready for the start. And you see in your picture there, the two big men in there ready to do battle is Solomon James for South Fremantle, and of course Brock Carter for the NT, who we've talked about a fair bit in the pre-game, and we expect big things from him as the siren goes, and umpire Tim Biddiscombe to take the first bounce. Beautiful bounce as expected, and James gets the hit out straight down to his feet. No clear possession, quickly out of there by Schleith for South Freo, and they get it down to half forward, but chopping across half back was Ryan Nyhouse, who clears to the outer side of the ground, close to the boundary line. First there for South Fremantle is Aidan Hall, but under pressure out there was unable to keep the ball in play, and it's a boundary throw in.
Yeah, Hall. Carter identifies himself as the NT ruck. Solomon James in there as well. So centre wing. Just a bit of holding, let go. Lant couldn't quite get a hold of it. Hurried left foot, Boots going to go forward for the NTFL first off. Pennell couldn't get his hands on it. Trying to get it loose out of there. Or taken high, I thought, was Schleith, and he has got away with a free kick. Back through Hall. Bulldogs just building it up. James all alone there. Got away from Carter. They're on the run. Hall had to turn back to have a look. Now he's looking for an outlet. Finds him through Schleith. Schleith across. Just playing keepy off at the moment, the Bulldogs. This is Manfred Kelly. Looks upfield. Now he's been called to play on, and he does. Off hands, loose on the ground. Coming through was Newman. Hurried kick. Parnell. Back through Nyhouse. Then it was Carter wrapped up in the tackle. Still loose, not clear. And it's going to come back off hands. Couldn't be taken. Taylor couldn't get it cleanly. Now it's held out through Bowden. Then on to Newman. Newman out to Collis. The blonde hair of Collis. He's looking inboard, and it's been chopped off again. Gee, Sloyce covered some ground.
He certainly has, and just worked into the right position, read the play, and now chips in short, has a lead there, and finds Robbie Turnbull about 45 metres out on a pretty slight angle, kicking to the airport end of the ground, and perhaps slightly favoured by the breeze, but you would expect that the distance wouldn't be a problem for him here.
Familiar name to the locals, Robbie Turnbull, plays at Tars.
So he's got a long run up here, comes inside the 50-metre line now, kicks on the way. He's just dragged that, I think, to the left a bit as Mitchell Taylor takes the grab, but over the line, and it's 3-4 behind, which is the first score of the game.
So Bowden out to Newman. Called to play on. He's got to kick up the line to a contest. Off hands at the back. Yaron on there with the ball, puts pressure under Solomon James. Just a slight foot. There's Motlop onto Yaron again. A little bit of pace. Or taken out high was Calder. Let go. Play on is the call. Hams with hurried handball. Stokes picked up by Solomon James, then wrapped up there. I think it was by Collis. And the ball will be balled up in great field position for the Northern Territory.
Yeah, Nicky Yarram there had 4 or 5 players running in front of him and chose to go long instead, and perhaps would like his time again on that one, but no damage done so far as South bring it out of defence now, and Manfred Kelly goes for a run through the middle of the ground, has one bounce now, hand passes outside to Aidan Hall, who chips short to a player free at half forward, and running in Jared Salmeri goes long towards goal, but he's dragged that one to the left as well, and another behind.
Well, both sides prepared to run with the ball and open space.
Yep, that's right. Perhaps we expected a little bit more physicality early, but yeah, both sides obviously got some fitness showing their legs, and we see that Mitchell Taylor on the end of this one from the kick-in at half-back.
That was McLean to Mitchell Taylor, and Taylor has now gone across to Bowden. Nephew to former Richmond player Joel Bowden. And his kick is not that great. It's gone out of bounds on the full. Well, this is dangerous for the Buffaloes. Aidan Hall will take the kick. He's going to bring it straight back in. He's gone to Dragovic. Midfield teammate. Dragovic's kick finds Kelly, but it doesn't hit the ground first. Players on top, and umpire Noonan's on the spot. Did that hit the ground first? What happened? Did he drop it? Not 15?
Not sufficient distance, I don't think. So from the hit out, it's South Fremantle set up behind the play and just work it through the hands now. The chip pass comes across, and making space out here is Bell Chambers. He plays on through the hands now. Oh, a solid tackle in defence by Bowden, and he's rewarded for that tackle. Just had nowhere to go in the end, and a fantastic tackle, and the first real strong tackle of the day was laid by the NT defender, but out of defence here, Lockie Taylor onto the ground, gets a quick kick forward, but not his best effort, and tied it up across half back by Braden McLean, who kicks long along the wing. Trying to burst through there was Fijo. He got caught with the ball. It spilled out. Now goes in towards the centre of the ground, reaching in and getting the hand pass out was Sinnott for South Fremantle. Taylor again involved, gets a quick kick out wide, and he finds Stevens. Stevens chips around the wing and finds the big full forward, Zach Strom, who's a long way out from goal, but just controls the ball into the middle of the ground. Dragovic into the centre, where he's got a player in some space down there in Bletchenden, and Bletchenden goes long towards the goal square. Now South Fremantle have the player advantage, but the ball spills off hands, and Taylor tidies up through the hands to Parnell. Parnell runs away out of that back pocket, looking to hand pass further afield to Stokes, and now back through the hands, and cleared out of there by Paredes, but there's a wall of South Fremantle players waiting for that ball to come out, and now they gain possession again. Schleus with a long hand pass over the top, and South still working it through the hands as the Hamza's kick comes in towards the goal square, but Mitch Taylor read that beautifully. Looks to play it on quickly because he's got players in space on the near side of the ground, and the hand pass inboiled by Fijo sees Territory bring it away, and the short pass is marked at half back by Nyhouse.
Nyhouse, former Fremantle docker, across to Bowden. Bowden with a little short kick's not great. Eyes for the ball, only got taken out though, and they'll run back in with it. The South Fremantle Bulldogs, and Strom will go back, and I suspect he will have a deliberate shot at goal. Well, hands on hips there is Matty Shannon. Got taken out. He was eyes only for the ball, got hit pretty hard. So Strom will kick probably from just inside the 50. Bit of a tight angle. You've got a pretty good camera view there. And up in the commentary box, we're looking right from behind. It's not a bad looking kick, and it's gone straight through. And the Bulldogs open the scoring in terms of the goals for this rep game here in Darwin at TIO Stadium.
Yeah, and that's Michael Bowden. That's a couple of kicks under pressure that he's just turned over. You just see on the replay here, just off the instep there, and certainly put his teammate Shannon under plenty of pressure, and the ball didn't go to his advantage, and it's really been all South Freo so far, hasn't it, Ash? In the early stages, NT side have hardly taken it forward of centre.
Well, no, they've been able to control that midfield, and they've had players running in good position to actually chop off and turn over the ball. The defenders have been under a lot of pressure there. They've managed to run the ball out, but haven't been able to get it the halfway, as James got in the air, and there was an infringement found, and it'll go to Solomon James now, who's told to then play on. So he's kicked it well and truly deep. Nyhouse in the contest there for the NTFL comes to Philo. Nyhouse then gathers quickly to Kirby, the second ruckman. Kirby inside to Dylan Lant. He can go wide if he wants. He doesn't. Lant decides to go forward. He's got a running Jackson Calder. It bounces over him. Motlop scoops it up beautifully. Gives it off to Collis. Collis on the left foot to the goal square. Paredes trying to get a hold of it and control and can't. And it goes through for the NT's first score, and it's a point.
So it's South Freo bring that in quickly. Waste no time. Ashton Hams in the back pocket looking grandstand side here as he comes around half back, and the mark's taken by Bell Chambers there in front of Dylan Collis. It plays on through the hands, and now South looking to keep it close to the boundary line around this grandstand wing, and good defensive work by Mitch Taylor once again just to thump that away from the hands of Nathan Spooner and over the boundary line for another boundary throw in.
Well, it'll be a good opportunity for Kirby here to see what it's like to go up against someone of Solomon James's calibre.
So Kirby trying to get that front position, but James works his way there. The ball just spills in front of them. Paredes at the bottom of the pack gets wrapped up in the tackle, and it'll be a ball up about just forward of centre for South Freo as the clock ticks past 9.5 minutes in this first quarter. Philo out the back, meets it hard, meets the contest hard, and then recovers well, gets a quick kick forward. Paredes through the hands to Dylan Lant. Lant's off and running, has a bounce, running through the centre of the ground, goes long towards the goal square. That's gone over the head of Calder down there, and pretty easily tidied up in the end for South Freo in defence. And
a free kick's been found. A free kick's been found by the umpire there, Stewie, for a deliberate through.
Wow.
Well, I don't know if we've got the opportunity of a replay, but gee.
Yeah, I suppose the.
Well, when he was in a position to see it, but he's actually not going to pay it inside the square. He's made Nicky Yarran go right on the tight angle there, and Yarran's just gone back in board and picked out Stephen Motlop.
Yeah, so it was rushed through between the goal post and the behind post, so the player on the mark sets up there, I think is the rule, Ash, and so that's why the angle was so acute there.
So Stephen Motlop's now directly in front.
Well, that's right. Pretty poor defensively by South Freo, really. They should have been expecting that Yarran would be looking for something to give off to, and Motlop's pretty good hands to have it in, I would think. And his kick is straight through the middle, no problem whatsoever. So an answering goal for the NTFL, and it's 1 goal apiece. It's about halfway through this first quarter.
Looking good on the ground, South Fremantle. They're running pretty well. I know that one there was, he's got him there. If you watched in the replay, he didn't take any offer at all to try and pick that one up. And Yarran would put his hands up straight away to say, that's ours. But South Fremantle looking really good, and the big ruckman for South Fremantle, he's been all over the ground and certainly showing his skill after only 10 games in the league. So a bit of talent there.
Yeah, certainly looks a likely type, and they've had a change in the ruck, as NT have, as well as Brock Carter is back on the field and for this restart. So big fella Strom has gone into the ruck, wins the hit out, and Turnbull clears for South Freo, gets it down towards half forward, out into space. First there for NT was Fijo, but the bounce doesn't help him, and well read, and a beautiful delivery inside by Salmeri, and hits up his teammate Stevens at half forward. Caleb Stevens just looking for options forward now, decides to go long to the top of the goal square in the end, and good defensive work by Nyhouse once again, sees it punched through for a rush behind.
Yeah, he forced Spooner into a position there as they hurriedly play it on, and it comes out to Fijo. Fijo then goes in board to Philo and then wants it back, waited for it to bounce, so had a quick look up. Now he's going to get some time, courtesy of a Shepherd. Hope. Darcy Hope. They've been going around Darcy Hope so far. He's been one of the better players in the NTFL at Waratahs. Handy centre half forward. They've been going around him, but Brock Carter and Strom now will go on centre wing, right on the interchange area for the South Fremantle Bulldogs. Strom takes front position. Hall gets it, puts it on the boot. Punched away, though, by McLean. Carter, to Newman, sorry. Bowden, hurried kick back. Comes to Nyhouse. Now they've got time and space over to Parnell. Parnell can look up and he goes inboard to Collis. Have they got runners? And they do. And he has Stephen Motlop and he picks him out. Good foot pass. Motlop plays on quickly. Calder is on the league at half forward. It comes over the top. Calder somehow ends up with it and then turns immediately. Looking for Hope. Off his hands. Oh, front position was beautifully there. Was Magro. Didn't come away with it. And Hall. Hall gets it on centre wing for South Fremantle. Now they can run it back inboard and go through Colborne. Onto Hall. Again, there's Hall at the 50. He's looking to hold it up and he does. Loose on the ground. Nyhouse just waited and went. Now it comes to Collis. And the Buffaloes are going to get out of trouble.
Jared Stokes through the centre of the ground, goes short right into the middle where Mitch Robinson takes the mark. He's trying to pinch a 50-metre penalty there. The umpire's having nothing of it. Goes long down to full forward and Hope takes the big mark. There was two NT players there, Hope and Calder, but Hope's strength held out and took a beautiful mark in the contest, and he'll go back and kick from about 20 out directly in front.
Well, hopefully we'll get a replay of that mark just in a second, but that was a great grab, and he's done that so often, hasn't he, in the contested situation.
Yeah, he has. He's been terrific in the NTFL this season. A great inclusion for Waratah, and one of the reasons that they're right up there at the top of the table. But Hope from kicking from about 30, had a bit more room, I think, but no problem whatsoever. Straight through the middle for the NTFL's second goal of the game and his first.
We're at the 15-minute mark of the first quarter, and at the NTFL men's side are leading by 4 points at the moment. 2 goals 1 to 1 goal 3. South Fremantle looking really good. Been a lot more deliberate in attack as well, South Fremantle, as they've been coming into the 50. That was a nice grab there for a Hope to get us back on the board. Lovely mark there, and it's been the best looking one we've had going forward all night.
And great delivery from Mitch Robinson there. Absolutely. From inside the square.
It was a long direct, get it in quickly, and the defenders were all at sea, really. They weren't in the contest in the end. It could have been either of those two NT boys that could have taken the mark.
And Mitch Robinson's still struggling with the heat up here in the top end. He said that the other week that he was struggling with it, but he's played some good footy.
Just like to show off the midriff, I think.
He's turned his hair white. Carter, off hands. Solomon James. Quick handball, though. It's come out through Russell. Russell, Strom, bounces over his shoulder. Can't quite get cleanly. Hands and knees is Mitchell Taylor. Handball out or taken high. Let go. Play on is the call. No. Other umpire got it, and it'll be Caleb Stevens, who was taken high. He'll get a free kick. Now he's got to get a little bit of a move on. Strom has gone back to full forward after a brief stint in the ruck. It's bouncing at the back, but it'll go through for a point.
Yeah, first there was Bradley Stokes, and he brings the ball in quickly to the outer side of the ground where Robinson's run to make position. He's got a player out wide, goes short out there. Bowden just took his eye off the ball. I think he's made a couple of mistakes under some pressure, and yeah, he'll just be looking to tidy things up a bit. And I think Anthony Vallejo would be a little bit concerned about some of their ball use coming out of defence. They've just missed some targets on occasions.
He had it spent before he got it, didn't he? He sort of wanted to go. As James almost took it out of the air cleanly there, unopposed, and hands and knees, and Paredes has earned himself a free kick, so he's going to get up and go into the mid, look in board, and he does. Now they can keep going to Robinson. Robinson's kick again, looking pretty good to Magro. That's Jaden Magro. A famous name in Western Australia, the great Stan Magro. And Jaden Magro was going to back himself from here. I've seen him kicking from here in the wet so far this season, and we haven't had any rain for about 3 or 4 days in this part of the town. So let's see what Jaden, a little skip sideways. He's going to kick from 50, the left footer, straight in front, bombs it long and through, and the NT gets their third goal.
Yeah, he was always confident that he had the distance covered, and I think everyone around him was as well. It was just a matter of accuracy in the end. Interesting approach to kick, isn't it, Ash?
Richard Hadley, remember that New Zealand bowler? He used to do that skip at the start.
He had a couple of different steps there. There's been a couple of, like Kennedy does something weird, but he had 3 different steps coming in there. So.
As Mitch, let's just see this, because pinpoint accuracy, hit him on the chest. You can't ask for any better than that, I wouldn't have thought.
That's 2 really important possessions for Robinson in the last couple of minutes that have resulted in goals.
Gee, there's not much emotion being shown in the coach's box there of the NT.
Pretty relaxed, of course.
Isn't it? We're fine. It's cool in here. The air conditioner's on.
Exactly. James over the top wins the hit out. Paredes at the bottom of the pack as usual. Spoons the hand pass forward to Dylan Lant. Tries to push off his opponent. Manages to get the ball onto the boot inside forward 50. But it's the Bulldogs tidying up at half back. But although this one's chopped off, Bennell picks up, kicks short. I don't think that's covered as required distance, but there's high contact, and it's going to be an NT free kick well inside forward 50, and it's Magro once again who's the recipient of the free kick. The angle's a bit tighter this time, and he's a bit closer in, so really test different skills on this occasion. It's accuracy more than distance here.
Yeah, I still think that I think it what do they used to call there is he does the skip again. I think he's incorporated that into his kicking action as he lines it up, but he's put it a little bit to the left. That Wolf Ewing left forward pocket there, that was a tough one. He was the only bloke that I could see regularly kick him from there.
Absolutely, and you would think that he shouldn't be able to, being a left footer, but he loved it out there. Obviously, it was the last place he had a kick before he went in after training every night down in that forward pocket.
As the Bulldogs bring it out through centre wing, over the top was Taylor, although he's got his opponent high there. And so it'll be, is it Stevens?
Spooner, I think.
Spooner will take the kick. Again, they'll just try and keep possession and move it forward. Turnbull. Into Schloith. Now he's got the big ruckman, Solomon James. Fingertips once, twice, couldn't get control though. Now they're trying to chop it off. Manfred Kelly couldn't quite get it. Strom's just going to let it go out of bounds if it does. And he just quietly guides it over.
Yeah, he wasn't too interested in keeping it in, was he?
No. Gee, Manfred Kelly has shown so that he's got some good pace, especially through the middle, but then he can match it with pretty much anyone out there at the moment. So it'll be Strom in the ruck against Kirby. It's going to come out the back, though, to Stevens. Stevens with a left foot shot as it touched on the line.
Gee, that was pretty casual too, Ash.
It was very close.
That must have bounced up and then touched it, because it looked like it had gone over from that angle. But
well, either way,
I was right there.
It's a point. He was on the spot.
So it's NT just working it around the outer side of the ground, and Fijay looking to go short here. Just Kieran Parnell in amongst a few Bulldogs players, but Parnell good enough to get out in front and take the mark. A bit in a couple of minds over what to do, but eventually they work it out, and the mark's taken by Collis at half back. Collis looking to go straight up the middle of the ground once again, but he's overcooked that one out the back, and again South Freo lined up behind the ball and working it through the hands across the ground, but they're under some pressure now as Russell kicks out here where there's 2 or 3 South Freo players, and eventually the short kick by Bleshenden comes around the boundary side to Manfred Kelly, who loses control of the ball as he's spinning it in his hands. He's called to play on now, and Taylor busy on the mark. Doesn't give him an easy kick, and that was terrific work on the mark by Mitchell Taylor. Just gave him nowhere to go and ended up just chipping the ball out of bounds on the full. Yeah, he it's the type of perceived pressure Mitchell Taylor is renowned for, as Dylan Collis gets it, brings it into Brodie Philo. He can go further back and does to Parnell. Parnell can go across to Bowden. Bowden is all on his own. Just a little bit, he got it, but just Philo gets it back, then takes off, was very slow in going and got brought down, had his kick disrupted. They're going to come back through Hams. Hams can go into the middle of the field, and he does, and
finds Pearson. Pearson across to his teammate Turnbull. Turnbull is going to have a bit of a canter and then line it back up to the full forward area of Strom. Strom with body, got his fingertips on it in the hands of the chest. It bounced off though, loose on the ground. They've all dived on it, asking the question, but the umpire says, I'll ball it up 15 metres out directly in front.
Yeah, seconds tick away. Must be almost quarter time here as South Freo will be desperate for a score. And as I say that, the siren's gone and finishes the first quarter, one where South Freo had it all early, but the NT boys came back strongly in the end, Nick.
Yep, the NTFL men's side, 3 goals, 2-20 to South Fremantle's 1 goal, 5-11. Lots of opportunities there for South Fremantle. It's going to be a big second quarter here at AFLNT's coverage of the men's representative match, NTFL taking on South Fremantle.
Cazalys Palmerston Club. Come and check out our cafe, open 7 days a week. Our kids club is open Wednesday to Sunday nights, including weekend lunchtime. Enjoy hot meals with nightly specials at the bistro or cold drinks at the sports bar. Feeling lucky? Have a go at the latest machines in our gaming lounge or grab your mates for a round of pool. Family gatherings or casual meetings, we have something for everyone. Cazalys Palmerston Club, making a difference.
Love exploring the Territory? If you do, it's good to know that with TIO Comprehensive Car Insurance, if you have an accident covered by your policy, we're here to help with the reasonable costs of towing, as well as your additional emergency accommodation and travelling costs. So get out there and explore. Get a quote today. TIO, we're for Territorians.
Welcome back. You're watching the AFL NT's coverage of the 2023 Cazalys NTFL representative men's match here from TIO Stadium. NTFL men's side, of course, taking on Fremantle, and currently 3-2 to the NTFL men's side, 20 to South Fremantle's 1-5-11. So 5 scoring shots to 6, but been a good first quarter. Ash.
Yep. Well, it has been from the Northern Territory's point of view. The second half of that first term, they got on top, but I think South Fremantle will be ruining those 5 points. The scoring shots, there's not much difference. In fact, 6 to 5, and I think it was the deliberate point that has offset South Fremantle. As we go back to the middle, Carter wins it out there. Turnbull's going to be the recipient though from South Fremantle, puts it on the boot right, bouncing inside. McLean got it, gets wrapped up by Strong. Now it comes back in. Board is just picked up and cleared out there by Stokes. It's going to bounce on centre wing, and it'll probably bounce out, and the ball will be thrown in. Yeah, sorry. So that deliberate point in the first quarter, I think, just seemed to unsettle the South's lineup for about 4 or 5 minutes, and the NTFL scored a couple of goals in that time, Stewie.
Yeah, that's right. They had a couple of kicks in deep that just got a bit too close to the line and was easy for the NT defenders to push over. But we're back in the action now as South Freo go forward, and Strong through the hands again, but strong tackle back there, and NT work it to the near side of the ground, but it's out in space now as the big fella Strom's first there. He gets wrapped up in the tackle by Yaron, who's busy again, but now Collis reaches in, picks up, wheels around on the left foot and kicks down towards half forward, where Stephen Motlop's pushed underneath it by his direct opponent O'Hare. O'Hare working hard at ground level. Motlop comes back in, gets a toe to the ball, and just kicks it over the boundary line on the bounce, and it'll be a boundary throw in between wing and half forward on the grandstand side as the NT kick towards the airport end in this second quarter at TIO Stadium.
Well, I think the Bulldogs will want to get on the board early, and that ball will go out of bounds again. Carter just indicating that he's getting a bit of a nudge in that contest there from James. Solomon James got a great vertical leap. They set themselves up. James takes front position, pads it off slightly. Good body there from Yaron. Philo collects it with ones, then he's wrapped up and slammed by Solomon James. They come through. Still with a little bit of body is Colborne. Manfred Kelly in there. So too is Hall, got taken high, and will get a free kick as it... He just got taken just as he was going to the ground. I think, was that... that's not Hall. It's Toby McGuilkin. And just a bit slow to get up.
The NTFL side kicking to the right of screen with a breeze, about a 1-goal advantage breeze at the moment.
As Chad Pearson steps inside his opponent, sets his teammate up though in Colborne, in O'Hare. Couldn't quite get it. They'll still recover though. Going to centre half forward, it's loose on the ground. Kelly scoops it up right-handed, then puts it on the right boot, kicks it over the top of his leading full forward in Spooner. And we're going to run it out of here, the NT, through Mitchell Taylor. Taylor across to Parnell. Parnell's handball's hurried back to Taylor again. Taylor's kick smothered off the boot. Now they come in to assist. It was Stokes. And then Stokes' kick, though, gets chopped off by Solomon James.
James hand passes inboard. Oh, just took his eyes off the ball down there. Was Kyle Russell, but got the hand pass back, and now a chance to steady, and the chip pass comes into Turnbull. He's about 60 metres from goal on the outer side of the ground, looking to kick the ball deep to the top of the goal square. Big leap from behind, but the ball slips over the back. Schleith at the foot of the pack has a quick kick at goal, but he's just dragged that one too far and through for a behind. But a big leap, didn't see who it was, but just couldn't hold on, and only a behind as Braden McLean now brings the ball back into the outer side of the ground, where Jared Stokes has made some ground, and he just has to wait now for players to get in position. Chips around the outer side of the ground, and Big Hope gets his opponent out of position and tries to run back onto the ball, but there's a free kick been found. Didn't see too much in that, but Darcy Hope right out on the wing, chips back to half back, where Bradley Stokes takes a mark and goes back over Hope's head around that wing, where Parides found some space. He chips in short towards half forward. Stephen Motlop tries to nudge his opponent out of the way, but unable to do so. And now O'Hare running off half-back kicks to the outer side of the ground, and this is a better build-up by South Freo as O'Hare runs on again and kicks inside forward 50. Bowden this time with a double fister over the top, tries to get it towards the boundary line. That's interesting play there. I'm not sure if that's come off the boot of the NT defender.
I'm just going to go and ask the question. It's gone out of bounds on the full, but the question is by who? And it's actually going to be a kick to South Fremantle. And
it's Lockie Taylor out there.
Yeah, so South will go and have a real opportunity here, and he just decides to kick it inside out, and it's going to, don't even know it made its way in the field of play. It did, and it's gone out of bounds as a consequence. Probably a let-off there for the NT as they come out through Stokes. Stokes looks further upfield. He does. Finds Sachs. Sachs sends it in, although it's going to be chopped off and kicked out. Bouncing ball. Shannon couldn't quite get a hold of it. And the ball will be thrown into the left of the Northern Territories interchange. Sampson will take on Kirby. So the red and whites, there's a fair bit of red and white around that ball at the moment. Sampson tries to steal front position, but it's Kirby that wins it out. Quick kick from Jared Stokes was chopped off. Now it's going to go back inside the 50 for the Bulldogs. Tapped out, can't get a hold of it. Fijo picks it up, handballs out to Mitch Robinson. Robinson with a short kick finds Jaden Magro. Magro looks up and he's got Darcy Hope if he wants him. Hope sets himself up there, gets a bit of a nudge in the back. Play on is the call. Still let go. Now they can recover here, South Fremantle. Oh, the flyer there was Strom. Didn't get two hands on it. Comes back out to Schleith. He ignores Turnbull. Now he gives it off to his teammate Bletchenden. Bletchenden to Spooner. Spooner, though, was interfered with in the marking contest and will get a free kick as a consequence, and will go back and have a deliberate shot at goal. And he'll be on about the 45. He'll kick from about 45 out. On about a 45 degree angle.
Yeah, Brody Newman infringing there. Wasn't too happy about it, but I think it was probably there. And the set shot opportunity for South Freo to get on the board first in this second quarter, which is a pretty important one. Again, they've had all the play in the early stages of the quarter as they did in the first quarter, but kick's on the way now. Looks pretty good. Not much movement from the goal umpire, and that one sails through. And South Freo again on the board first in this second quarter.
Well, do you think that's a much needed goal, Nick? What's your assessment in terms of that build up there?
Yeah, they've got their value for their money's worth there. A couple of other times tonight they've let them go. This one here, though, a couple of nice touches across the top of the 50 and a good lead up there. And it was always a free. He was in his back the whole way. And Spinner's just gone back and popped that through for South Fremantle's second goal, and probably got their just desserts at that time.
Yeah, I think that they had to work for it, but he presented himself, and it's a lot to be said for being in the front position, Stuart.
Yeah, just had a shot at the South Freo coach's box there. Interesting to see Josh Heath in there, and I don't think he's got a role, just a learning opportunity for him, so that's terrific. Of course, coaches Palmerston in the NTFL. We're underway again from the centre bounce, and Paredes gets it through the hands, and now running through the centre of the ground, kicking long towards goal was Shannon, but just dragged it, and South Freo had numbers back and were able to force it over the boundary line for a boundary throw in the right forward pocket.
Yeah, Matty Shannon bursting through the middle there. That was a good look.
So from the stoppage in the forward pocket, Hope does the ruck work for the NT, taps it forward, but couldn't be taken cleanly. Nick Yarran, as usual, applying the pressure in the forward half, and bundles his opponent Dragovic over the boundary line, and a boundary throw once again.
Well, both sides feeling themselves out here early on in this second term. Comes off Hope's hands. Looked like contact below the knees there. Player went straight over the top. Was Yarran. Play on, though, is the call. They'll just get it outside of their defensive 50 at the moment. And it was Spooner just putting Kirby under pressure. Brody Newman has come down from half back, kicks it towards the rightful forward pocket and to Calder, but it bounces and goes out of bounds. Yeah, Yarran just went over the top there quite heavily in that.
Yeah, just just renowned, of course, for applying that forward pressure, and he doesn't hold back at all. As Newman's kick just floated forward, but Hope again doing the ruck work in the forward half, taps it straight down, but South Freo again reading it, and diving attempt there by Kelly, couldn't hold on to the mark as he's involved again, gets tackled and the ball spills free. South Freo trying to work it through the hands, but it's chopped off by Newman. He hand passes to no one in particular out in the middle, and Turnbull for South Freo gets tackled without the ball. Play-ons are called as it spills forward, and Bradley Stokes that down there just mishandled and gave South Freo the opportunity to come in. A quick kick goes off the side of the boot from Sal Mary, and a forward pass by Hall. Gets out to Bleshington in some space, runs in towards the open goal now, gets a push as he kicked the ball, but still had enough composure and balance to keep the ball on line as his kick just bounced through the vacant goal square and through for another South Freo goal, Nick.
Yeah, put South Fremantle in front by 4 points. Looking at the weather, guys, on the right of the screen then, in the distance for a bit of lightning, there's a fair bit of storms around Litchfield and whatnot, so hopefully it goes around us tonight, but hopefully staying a clear night here. But at the moment, South Fremantle 4-point lead over the NTFL men's side, and again another flash of lightning to the right of screen.
And there is a lightning policy that will come into effect depending on where it is, and the game will stop for a maximum of 30 minutes. But that wasn't very pretty football, Stewie, but it just shows that they're prepared to keep it moving forward, and a little bit of luck there as well with that ball that went out sideways. And I know there was awareness and he was there, but...
Yeah, that's right.
That's Solomon James up against Kirby. Kirby just waited on the ground for him. It's going to come out. It's Stephen Motlop, can't get it the first time, gets it the second time, tries to handball it off. It comes to Kirby, who's over the top. That's it out to Paredes. Paredes in traffic, just a right foot over the top. Hope, fingertip, couldn't quite get it. Now it's out to Yaron. Now it's on to Stephen Motlop from 50. Sets it up into the square. Is it going to bounce? And it is, but through for a point.
I think it's a free kick downfield here. It might be a free kick to Calder in the goal square.
Is it? So Robinson having words there with Schleith. And umpires pointing towards the full forward area. And umpire Noonan has set a spot up outside of the square and to the left.
Yeah, Jackson Calder's pointing the goal square, saying that's where it should be. But
no, it didn't bounce there, so
yeah,
it's got to be where it bounced. And Calder, it's in the hands of Calder, so you'll be happy with that. And Calder just spins around onto his right and scores.
Yeah, pretty simple stuff these days, isn't it? From those angles in close, the players are all pretty adept at kicking across the body, and Calder no exception, of course, as the leading goal kicker in the NTFL to date.
And if you watch the replay now, this is where Stephen Motlop you might see this where he just gets one just after the ball there, just missed it on the camera there. But Mitch Robinson came to his rescue. I bet that's the first time he's done that for Stephen Motlop.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think Mitch minds going up and helping anyone out.
Yeah, he likes to get involved, that's for sure. And so a good reply there for the NT as South Freo had been a bit more efficient going forward in this second quarter and just scored the opening couple of goals. A steadier there for NT as from the restart, it's the hand pass comes forward from Bleshington as he was tackled, and now a quick kick forward by James, gets the ball down towards half forward, and hand pass over the back by O'Hare, gets it to Stevens. Stevens has a shot at goal, and this one sailed through as well. It's just goal for goal at the moment, early stages of this second quarter. They're just finding some space in the forward half, and the kicks are sailing through online.
That's put South Fremantle back in front by 4 points, so it's a lot happening in this quarter. It's a lot better than the first one. They were just feeling themselves out, but to now, as I said, shot for shot on goal. Nice hands there and a lovely snap, and goal umpire didn't even have to move, and that's gone through, and they're very happy in the box with that one.
Yeah, 4 individual goal scorers so far in this game, and Brock Carter having a chat there with Stephen Motlop and Nate Paredes in the middle, and Brodie Philo there. We haven't seen much of Dylan Lance so far tonight. Looking forward for the NT player to inject him himself, as there is a bit of a flash of lightning. You couldn't see it on your screen, but we could. As Solomon James, Carter won it. Comes out to Stephen Motlop. So whatever they talked about worked in the first instance. Loose though, Philo overruns it. Motlop with quick hands to Collis. He gets his kick smothered. South Fremantle, though, will go back into attack through Kyle Russell. It's going to be a bit of a bounce. Spooner couldn't quite get it. It's gone over the back, though, and running into an open goal was Chase Bourne.
Yeah, the NT players just fell over each other a bit, didn't they, Ash? And spilled out the back. Chase Bourne was aware, kept his feet, and kicked a pretty easy goal from the top of the goal square in the end.
Well, Bourne himself is out of the... he's on the Fremantle Dockers train-on squad. So, just proving that stay there, stay on the ground, and who knows what happens when that ball goes over the back.
Yeah, just a small forward playing his role, isn't it? Just getting in the right position, and nothing special, but getting to the right places.
It's a good Rover does up there on the goal square, just waiting for those ones to drop off the big guys, and he picked that up well, and he said he kept his feet and the rest of the guys didn't.
James and Carter. One out by James. Down to Paredes, though, who sharked it beautifully. Yaron in a contest. Philo couldn't get it first time. South now will run it out of run it away from their half back. They've got Hall out wide and they use him. Aidan Hall just on the left was looking for Schleith, but he slipped at the crucial, and Ryan Nyhouse was there. So Nyhouse just slows things down a little bit and goes in short now to Philo. So Brody Philo, Nichols medalist here in the NTFL. Plays on, steps around his his opponent, and then goes up looking for Hope. Solomon gives Hope a little bit of nudge and comes straight back out, though, through Colborne. Colborne's kick is up and under and high. Newman couldn't get it. Kicked quickly off the ground by Parnell, and then the mark gets taken there by Lant. Well, only mentioned him a minute ago. Dylan Lant didn't wait, played on. He's looking for his Calder off fingertips, and it'll go out of bounds, and the ball will be thrown in. And we're just seeing a little bit more lightning. The reason I mention that is that if we hear 3 sirens, or is it 3 or 5?
5, I think.
5 sirens, then there'll be a delay in play. Both sides will have to leave the field.
So from the boundary throw-in in the forward 50, Calder just nudges his opponent out of the way, gets a quick kick forward, but there's a goalkeeper in place for South Freo, Jack Hilda, back there, and clears to the outer side of the ground where Bell Chambers made some space. He goes along around the half-back flank, gave it a bit of air and put his teammate under pressure, but O'Hare running forward receives or spilt the mark, but now plays on and hand passes inside to the running player in Salmeri. Gets it back in the 1-2 and now kicks long inside forward 50 to a one-on-one contest. Parnell does really well for the NT back there, got rid of his opponent and then controlled the ball and chips across ground to Robinson, who made some space running back from the midfield. He kicks the ball out towards the defensive 50 where Fiji takes the mark. Robinson kept running, gets a hand pass over the top to Jared Stokes, and the hand pass was at his feet. Robinson toe poked it forward. Dylan Lant trapped it and now kicks long inside forward 50. There's a couple of players out here. One of them, Magro, in front, had no opponent, and Calder did enough to keep his direct opponent out of the way, and Magro took the mark about 45 metres out on a slight angle.
He has that ability to find space, Jaden Magro, and he presents himself out wide on his own regularly.
Yeah, and a good forward entry again from Dylan Lant, who's just working his way into the game.
Jaden Magro will kick, and it's a pretty good looking kick. Jackson Calder pulls it, and he gets his second. So he becomes the first multiple goal scorer on the field tonight.
Yeah,
does Jaden Magro.
Reliable kick, isn't he? And like you said, just found himself in space. Obviously worked his opponent and then ran into space. And Dylan Lant, a couple of important inside 50s. The one before to Calder hit his hands, but he couldn't hold on to it. But good entries, good passes inside 50, and has given the NT a couple of chances. Just look on the replay here. That was clever by Robinson to get it forward, and then Lant just wheels around on his favoured left foot, and that's a beautiful pass to. You see his opponent has dropped off out the back of the pack there, and not good enough. I would think the South Freo coaching staff would be saying.
Mitch Robinson's put a couple of good ones into the 50, and that one there off the ground, he knew what he was doing. It wasn't... no, it wasn't luck. He wasn't luck. He knew exactly where he wanted to put that ball.
Kirby loses out to Strom. Strom can get it now, and he does. Hurried kick, just sends it inside the 50 for the Bulldogs. At the front there is Stokes, can't quite get it. Now there's more pressure from the South Fremantle as Brodie Newman got it and then took off straight away. But his kick comes off. Strom was probably a little bit casual there. Tried to pick it up. Now he can burst out of one tackle, and he does. His kick will bounce over the top, but it's going to come to a teammate, and I'm just was that Bowden's kick though was 1-on-3. Not helpful for Burnell, and South just by weight of numbers come away with it. O'Hare inboard, gets it back. Now he gives it off to Hams. Hams onto Hall, Aiden Hall, out wide. Gee, that's Schleith, and again, he's actually covered it. He was in the midfield, came on this side of the field to where the grandstand is, and he's ended up in that far right side.
Yeah, South Freo have done well to control the ball there. There was plenty of pressure from the NT players in every contest around there, but they maintained their composure and then found the player in the right space, and that was Schleith out wide, and he'll have a set shot from goal. He'll be running just inside 50 by the time he kicks this ball.
Well, what would this be, Nick? I don't know if you're keeping score, but in terms of the lead change, Schleith's kick goes slightly to the right, but...
no, he's got it right through the middle.
He's got it through the middle?
Yep.
And so the Bulldogs extend their lead now to 10 points after that effort.
That's his first goal of the night, and 10 points as we just about to tick into time on here in the second quarter. I think there's been about 5 leave changes this quarter alone, and South Fremantle have kicked 5 goals in this quarter.
Yeah, 5 goals to 2 in this quarter after NT kicked 3-1 in the first. So been a pretty impressive quarter from South Freo. They've, as I said, they've looked pretty composed. They've used the ball well and have found players going inside 50 better and having shots from further out from goal rather than lobbing them on the goal line. So it's NT trying to work the ball out of the centre through the hands. Parides first there for the NT, but Strom at ground level drags the ball in, but tried to get to his feet and was tackled, and umpire Noonan comes in and will ball it up once again. 20.5 minutes into the second quarter. So Strom wins a hit out, and again South Freo, Hams not aware of Shannon coming in and making the tackle, and I think advantage was going to be paid, but there was no advantage there, so Matt Shannon will take the free kick.
He was just a little bit, he didn't realise there was someone around behind him, and his kick from Matt Shannon, though, has been knocked to the ground. It comes out to Kirby after a handball from Jackson Calder, and Kirby found himself a goal sneak, but it went through to the right for a point.
I think it was actually a little toe poke from Calder that got it up into his hands. It was clever work, but South Freo have wasted no time here taking the ball around the outer side. But again, there's plenty of pressure from the NT players out there, and Magro gives away the free kick in the end, and South Freo the chance to settle as it's McQuilkin who just chips the ball around the outer side of the ground, and now going long around the outer wing, marking contest, and out in front. Strong mark in front's taken by Spooner. Spooner has something he likes inboard and chips in there to McQuilkin, who kept running and now goes long inside forward 50 to a one-on-one contest. Working to the front was Kelly, but couldn't hold on to the mark. Play on's the call as the ball spills to ground, and now thumped forward out of defence. Some clever work and a nice little pass out wide, and the NT through Newman get it out wide there to Nyhouse, who's run all the way down to the wing. He chips inboard to Robinson, who's got some space. He goes long over the top. He's got a player all by himself back there, and Harley Burnell was just free out the back, but a terrific long kick from Mitch Robinson. Must have been a 50 or 60 metre kick. Just saw the player free in the over the back of the pack, and Burnell, who will kick after the siren here with an opportunity to close that gap to 3 points. And he'll be kicking. The player on the mark's only 10 metres out, so you would think Harley Burnell would kick this one without much problem.
Mitch Robinson saw that coming for a long way out, and he called that through, and yep, that's what the NT needed coming into it, though. We're here at half-time, though. You're watching the AFL NT's coverage of the NTFL rep match from Larrakia Country here in Darwin at TIO Stadium. The NTFL men's side are now 3 points down, I think it is, against South Fremantle. We'll be back with the second half shortly.
Cazalys Palmerston Club. Come and check out our cafe, open 7 days a week. Our kids club is open Wednesday to Sunday nights, including weekend lunchtime. Enjoy hot meals with nightly specials at the bistro or cold drinks at the sports bar. Feeling lucky? Have a go at the latest machines in our gaming lounge or grab your mates for a round of pool. Family gatherings or casual meetings, we have something for everyone. Cazalys Palmerston Club, making a difference.
Love exploring the territory? If you do, it's good to know that with TIO Comprehensive Car Insurance, if you have an accident covered by your policy, we're here to help with the reasonable costs of towing, as well as your additional emergency accommodation and travelling costs. So get out there and explore. Get a quote today. TIO, we're for Territorians.
Welcome back. You're watching the AFL-NT's coverage of the 2023 Cazalys NTFL representative men's match from TIO Stadium here in Darwin on Larrakia country. South Fremantle currently leading the NTFL side by 3 points. Had a strong second quarter, kicking 5 goals to NT's 3. My name is Nick Danks. My commentary partners this evening, Stuart Davies and Ashley Manakaris. Ash, a big second half there from second quarter there from South Fremantle.
Yeah, they did. After only kicking 1 goal in that first term, they then put on 5, and their accuracy improved out of sight because they'd kicked 1-5 in the first term, and they ended up kicking 5-1 in the second. So that worked out really well. Northern Territory, the actual score, 39-42, probably doesn't really reflect the quarter. The lead changed about 4 or 5 times in that second term, but it was Mitch Robinson again who's had injected himself in the game probably 3 good times. We see South Fremantle making their way out onto the ground now to start this second half, and Robinson came in 3 times, at least with a 50-metre foot pass, and just then on the siren we saw him pass to Harley Bennell, and that margin got closed up to 3 points.
Yeah, that's right. Just fantastic foot skills, wasn't it? Like all 3 of them 50-plus metres inside forward 50 and hitting a target, and all resulting in goals. Just, yeah, you know, they're coach's dream, aren't they? For passes like that, hitting players inside 50 and giving yourselves the opportunity to score.
Well, I know if I was a coach, I wouldn't mind a 200-gamer AFL player if he's played 200 games inside the AFL in my side either, Stewie, just quietly.
Yeah, that's right. And it's fantastic that he makes himself available for these games, and that the local NTFL players get to play with him in the competition, but also in a representative game like this. There's, you know, you hear in some quarters some criticism of why the ex-AFL players playing, but they just bring something to the game, don't they?
Well, Stephen Motlott's done the same as well tonight. He's played a couple of good touches, especially early in that first quarter, and has been around. A few more flashes of lightning around. Don't forget, we've got a lightning rule here, so 5 sirens will mean that we'll stop. The lightning is in the distance. It's out about Litchfield, so about 80 kilometres away at the moment, but we'll keep an eye on the weather forecast that goes through, as our team will as well. And of course, we'll have a 30-minute stop if that lightning bolts do actually get near the ground.
Umpire Jacob Bort holds the ball aloft to start the second half here at TIO Stadium in Darwin. Solomon James, one of the Bulldogs' best players so far, up against Brock Carter. It's one out though by South. It comes down low, punched away. And we see that it looks like Bowden's made his way onto a wing, and he has. Handball out from Robinson. It was Shannon with quick hands again. Philo tries to dance and beat the tackle as James gets it off to Carter. Carter onto Magro, one of the best, the only multiple goal scorer on the field. He swivels onto the left from 50 out and bombs it through.
Well, I think you're doing him a disservice, Ashley. That was about 55 or 60 out. It was a magnificent wheel around on the left. But carried all the way through, and what a fantastic start for the NT. We'll see it on the replay here as Carter just gets it in high as out towards half forward. He took the mark, wasted no time. He's definitely outside 50, Ashley. And
yep.
Yeah, and it carried through, so a great start for the NT.
So Magro's 3rd goal of the day. He's the only multiple goal scorer on the field, and having a great game of footy so far, Magro is.
Yeah, he has. 3 goals so far, Stewie.
Yeah.
Handy small forward, isn't he?
Oh, absolutely, really impressive. But we're underway again. Carter won the hit out. Robinson sweeping around the back, kicks long down towards half forward for the NT, getting there first for South Freo was hauled, but couldn't control the ball. The hand pass comes inboard now. Here's an opportunity. Stokes chips short to Magro again. Magro with a shot at goal, but this time he's hooked it and through for a behind only. But wow, he's come out of the blocks in the 3rd quarter, Jaden Magro.
Yeah, he's been electric. And South will go in short and play it safe, and it's come to Aiden Hall. He's been one of South's better players tonight. Goes out wide, and they're just going to try and chip it along, keep it moving. They've not got a lot further up forward, so Sinnott will go in short again, and Bletchenden's had to go right down back. Tom Bletchenden. Now he's got to go for a longer run, and he's trying to get it over that centre wing position, but it's going to be marked cleanly by Braden McLean. McLean, he's got options at the back and he goes to Mitchell Taylor. Been reliable up back tonight has Mitchell Taylor. Taylor goes across field and picks out Ryan Nyhouse. Nyhouse can go across to Bowden, ignores him and goes back to Taylor. Now they can swing it in and they find Philo. Philo again goes to Shannon. So Matty Shannon, Carlton VFL player, looking for Calder. It's off his fingertips under pressure and he got handled in the marking contest, so he'll actually get a kick. Looks like Pearson was the offender.
It's interesting, isn't it? Both sides look like they've really tidied up defensively here. Nothing free out, and they're just having to slow the game down, look for options, both sides. Now the free kick here sees Calder kick long inside forward 50. Hope in the marking contest couldn't take the mark. Yarran at ground level tries to keep it in play, but wasn't able to. So it's out of bounds for a boundary throw in about 40 metres around from the NT goal.
And the breeze has turned around here. It's going to cross the ground now. Has been going to the right of screen all night. Well, looking at the flags on the far side, it's now going across the screen from the grandstand side.
Calder will go up against James. He takes front positions as Jackson Calder. Turnbull's in there. Can't pick it up cleanly. Dylan Collis comes in, gives it off to Mitch Robinson, who sharks away from one, sends it up to the full forward square. Hope was his target. And it's gone out of bounds. Hope was actually the player. No, he wasn't a kicking Hope. Just so everyone knows.
Just a little bit too much on it from Robinson that time. Got over the back, but we got a stoppage. Calder again doing the ruck work. Gets to the front, taps it straight down, looking for Yarran there, but he couldn't get his hands on it. But it was good enough as usual to put the pressure on and take the ball over the boundary line for another boundary throw in. So just a bit stop-start at the moment early in this third quarter after the NT got that first goal on the board. James in front, got a bit of a nudge. Play on's the call. It's a snapshot from out wide, but just missed. And I think it was Motlop out there.
Yeah, it was Stephen Motlop.
But just didn't bring it back far enough. As South Freo again building up slowly, but now Hall plays on, wheels around, gives it by hand out wide, and now a long kick down towards the wing. Oh, over the top, big leap by Salmiri, couldn't hold the mark, and Philo just mishandled the ball there, gave the Freo defenders a chance to pounce, and they take it away through Kyle Russell straight up the middle of the ground. Mitch Robinson spills one unaccustomed to what we see, the work we see from him, but good enough to tidy up. And now McLean receives from Nyhouse, kicks around the wing. Paredes picks up on the half volley, chips inboard looking for Mitch Robinson. Robinson just spilt the mark again, but gave it off to Paredes. Paredes short to half forward, looking for Calder, goes through his hands. And the ball at ground level now. South Freo working hard out of defence. Oh, the kick off the ground falls into the hands there of Magro once again. He kicks high inside forward 50, awkward bouncing ball. Favours South Freo, but Paredes comes in and lays a strong tackle. There's not much effort being made to get rid of it, and Paredes will be rewarded with the free kick.
Well, he chose to take the tackle but make no effort to look like he was going to get rid of it.
So Nathaniel Paredes, of course the St Mary's captain in the local competition, and a very experienced player. And
Nichols medalist?
Yeah.
Has he?
I'm not sure. No, I don't think he is.
Oh.
No. In fact, sorry, I'll talk about that a bit later. But,
push that right.
He's one of those players that doesn't attract the votes of the umpires, but
attracts the attention.
Right. But he's won 3 best and fairest at St Mary's in a row. So the only player in the club's history, I think, to do that, which is remarkable.
As South now looking for Strom. He's been definitely one of South Fremantle's better players tonight. Kicked it forward. Came from the teammate as O'Hare trying to keep it going. Manfred Kelly wrapped up. Philo knocked out of his hands. No one can get clean possession on it. And umpire Noonan says, can you pass it to me, please? I'm going to ball it up. Centre wing. Right in front of the Morris Rioli grandstand. Right below us in the commentary position. James got his hands over the top of Kirby. Bletchenden couldn't get it out. They go right inside their forward 50 now. Just falling over at the last minute was Spooner, although it's still problems there because of Bourne. Chase Bourne putting the pressure on his opponent. They might get out of trouble here. Stokes, but balks one way, then the other. Picks out Collis. Good foot pass, Collis. Now he can go to Jared Stokes. Handball over the top. They can run away through Stephen Motlop, who has one bounce. He's got time for a second. Then steps around his opponent and has a third. Fourth. Classic from 50. Picks out Jackson Calder in the right forward pocket. Calder immediately plays on. Goes inboard to a sliding teammate. That was Fijo. He couldn't get his hands on it. It comes out instead to Dylan Land. Left foot snap at goal. Can he curl it around? And he can't.
Yeah, good idea by Calder, but just the execution wasn't quite there, and just out of the reach, unfortunately, of Ronald Fijo, and the opportunity went missing. But South Freo to bring the ball back in from the back defensive pocket.
Classic Stephen Motlop, just
absolutely.
Yeah, Aidan Hall bringing it in for South. Goes long out to half-back, reaching over the top. Brodie Newman takes an intercept mark that we're used to seeing in the local competition. He kicks high inside forward 50 now, and Hope in the contest sees the ball at the back now, recovers well, gives it by hand, and the snapshot from Fijo. Has it come back enough? He likes it, goal umpire likes it, and it is a goal for the NT, and Ronald Fijo gets his first, I think, nick on the board.
Absolutely, his first goal for the night. So it's put the NTFL side now 7 points clear as we're coming up to the 10-minute mark of the third quarter. Fijo, that was his first one of the night.
And it's a great snap. He liked it straight away.
So, yeah, he looks to be spending a bit more time forward, and although he is playing from that wing, but followed the ball in, and a good snap, good use of the ball through the hands, as we see a picture of Mitch Robinson on the bench having a spell.
What do you think of, obviously fitness? We are in season here at up in the Northern Territory. How much is that going to play in this second part of this game?
I think it's really important, together with the conditions, of course. It's pretty warm and humid up here, as we're used to. Yeah, look, South Freo have been pretty impressive with their ball use. They've just been clogged up a bit in this third quarter, I think.
And they were very late coming into the ground as well to the start of the match. The NT side had been out there for about 5 or 10 minutes before they came out, so they might be struggling with the heat.
It's quick hands. Going forward again to the NT. Over the top, they're going to try and come out of it, and they do through Bell Chambers. He's got Dragovic. Collis taken out, contact below the knees. Umpire Noonan indicates Dylan Collis put his body on the line. He doesn't have a huge number of options. He can go wide. Instead, he kicks up the line. He's got Calder, who's led a long way. Kirby, off hands, play on is the call. It'll just going to bounce free. It might go out, and it will. Just on at about the 52-metre mark. And the ball will be thrown in. And I'm just seeing that they have brought on Thomas Schott, who is definitely one of the better midfielders running around in the comp, has the NT. Loose hands at the back. Kick forward, though, not far enough. Hall just takes it, pushes off his opponent, Yaron, and then just goes straight away. They're going to try and run it out that far side. It comes to Salmeri. Salmeri gives it over to his teammate, who suddenly got run down. And they're still moving forward, though. This is Bell Chambers. Bell Chambers on to Schleith. Schleith, if he can settle himself up, could have a clean shot. He does. He goes back to a teammate, though, who hurried his kick in the end. And there's a bit of push and shove there. Oh, and the jumper's been ripped off. And it's Newman and Schleith who are having a bit to say to each other. Let's see what happens here.
Looks like it's going to be a Newman free kick.
No score. No score. The all clear wasn't given. So Newman will take a free kick and then immediately leave the field.
So he chips short to Mitchell Taylor, too short for the mark to be paid, and his kick's short as well, as Stokes gets a hand pass back to him. They're just working it under pressure, but pretty cool under pressure as they bring it around the outer side of the ground. That's an early leap, but Paredes kept his feet well. His chip kick forward went nowhere really, but he recovers himself now, kicks on the left. Oh, there's plenty of red jumpers around there as the pressure comes in, and Again, a scrubber cricket kick along the ground and not too effective as the ball's trapped in underneath, and I don't think he was responsible for dragging it in, and so the big fella Brock Carter over the top.
Well, Strom also just exercising a little bit of physicality there in that contest, Dewey.
Yeah, a bit of feeling coming into the game as quick hands through the contest, Jared Stokes, but it's Collis, a long hand pass over the top to Mitch Robinson, who busts the game open and now goes straight up the middle of the ground, but Stephen Motlop just waiting for it to come over the back, and his opponent just ran off him and intercepted and now kicked out wide, and the opportunity for Maguire out there goes round the outer side, but his pass missed the target and bounces over the boundary line for a boundary throw-in.
Yeah, I think Stephen Motlop is expecting that ball to be cut off by somebody else because he wasn't ready at all, as he was about half a yard behind and then got further and further.
Yeah, both sides. I just sense a lifting their intensity here. 54 plays 42. Strom just took front position. They're going to come away with it here. It'll be through O'Hare. Then he's trying to back it up with it, and he gets it again. Bit of pace about him. Looking for Solomon James. Mitchell Taylor just stumbled at the last moment.
Yeah, just lost his footing, didn't he? And Solomon James kept his, and the pass was good to his advantage. And it's game on the line time, really, for South Fremantle. I think that this is a pretty important attempt at goal.
And I've just been given a note here to say that Harley Burnell has actually been medically subbed off. He was the goal scorer just before half-time, and Joseph Salmon has come into the lineup. Joseph Salmon, the youngster, but Solomon James is the one that will have a shot at goal from 45 out, and pushes it to the left. Well, as you were saying, Stuart, they needed a goal just then.
That was South Fremantle's first scoring of the third quarter as well. NTFL well clear at the moment.
Jared Stokes receives from that kick out, chips out wide to the back pocket. Braden McLean takes the mark and now just slows things down while he looks at options further afield. South Freo have closed them down pretty well as the ball slips over the top, but bounces over the boundary line before Ashton Hams can get his hands on it, and it'll be a boundary throw-in in front of the old TIO scoreboard on the outer side of the ground.
Yeah, Strom's gone into the ruck there. I think they're chasing. I think they want Solomon James to either have a break or give them a bigger target up forward. Loose on the ground, picked up there by Stevens. Stevens' kick is quick. Is cut off though by Dylan Lant. Now it's a handball over the top, and it's a running Collis. Collis has worked his way into a pretty good field position over time. Comes back to Dylan Lant. Lant with the left foot looking for Calder. Calder got his hands on it. It's going to pop out the back though. Who's it got? It landed in the hands of. The fingers are up. Everyone loves it. There's Licky Yarran that's getting the high fives.
Yeah, it looked like it was going to fall to Stephen Motlop there, but Yarran on the spot, and a terrific finish.
As we watch this build-up here, it was Land again.
Yeah. So, yeah, Motlop just fumbled there, and Yarran was right there to tidy up and slam it through. So that's the first 3 goals of this third quarter to the NT side, and really putting South Freo under some pressure on the scoreboard now.
So, yeah, they've not gone forward at all in this quarter. I think we've had one point, and of course the other one that was called back for the bit of a scuffle. But South Fremantle just lost that structure going forward in this quarter.
No, and Brody Newman, having had his jumper ripped, will now wear number 34 for the NT. We're back in the middle. Strom against Carter. Neither of them got a hand on it. Went down. Philo's in there. Manfred Kelly's wrapped up. Socket off the ground by Robinson. It's gone about 50 metres. Bouncing ball. Calder, though, asking the question about whether or not it was deliberate out of bounds from McGuilkin. And umpire Noonan says, nope, we're going to throw it back in and restart it inside the 50. Inside South Fremantle's 50, the NT's 50. And they have kicking towards the Michael Long end left screen. High up in the air, Robinson back to Philo. Philo just takes a couple of steps and then sends it towards before the flyer up was Motlop, came down heavily, asked the question, and a free kick's actually going to go against Stephen Motlop for a push out, and it's going to go to McGuilkin.
Yeah, it was a bit unrealistic, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And McGuilkin in the back pocket just chips short, finds Strom, who's He's really worked all over the ground tonight. Plays on with the handball back to McGuilkin, and he goes through the hands. But the hand pass from Hall missed the target, and now Robinson involved again, gets a quick kick forward. But it's South Freo first there. Stephen Motlop just tries to toe poke through to his own advantage, but couldn't keep it in play.
Yeah, Aidan Hall is on the ground there.
Yep.
He copped a heavy hit, and he hasn't got up, and he's rolling, and I'm just wondering if he hasn't really damaged his ribs. They're going to, I think they might hold play up here while he's dealt with. We'll see. No, they're going to keep going with it. So, Nick, perhaps we just keep an eye on Hall as Strom tried to be taken out of there. It comes to, taken high there was Salmon, I thought. Let go. Play on is the call. Salmon, of course, the medical sub. Trying to get out of trouble here, South Fremantle. It's not going to be good. Now it's gone out of bounds on the full. They're going to have to stop play, I would have thought.
Well, that ball almost landed on top of him.
It did, didn't it? But no, he's up and about.
He's up and about.
So he's clearly just been winded and went out of bounds on the full. So it'll be an NT kick with an opportunity. Who's it in the hands of?
Brody Philo.
Brody Philo. So we'll see how he can go from that left-hand forward pocket.
Hall's running off the ground, so he's looks to be okay.
So the kick going across the face of goal. Oh, the mark's been claimed there by Jackson Calder and paid. So in the middle of the pack, Calder just stuck his hands up and came down with the ball, and a good clunk. I'm not sure that that's where Philo was intending it to finish, but it was a hot spot, and Calder's taken it about 15 metres out from goal, no angle to speak of. So this one for the NT's fourth of the quarter, and South Freo haven't been able to get a goal on the board so far. Calder's kick, goal umpire makes a couple of steps to the left, but kept it on line enough to register another goal for the NT. So Calder's second goal, Nick.
Yep, his second goal for the night, and Hall has just gone straight down in the change room. He sat on the bench for a few seconds, taking him straight down, which is understandable, and I don't think we'll see much more of him because it was a big hit.
Yeah, and it's a bit of a shame, really, because he was one of their better midfielders running around in the first 2.5 quarters here tonight at TIO Stadium. So Calder proving to be a bit of a headache for the South defenders.
Yeah, that's right. Just his height, and he does mark the ball at the highest point, and so him and Hope forward are giving him tall targets when it comes in high and long.
Arnold Kirby will go up against Solomon James with a restart after that goal. Good bounce from umpire Bitterscombe. Leading the race to the ball, held off it there, I thought was Turnbull. Let go, play on is the call, and in fact it's going to be balled up again in what you would probably call the true centre wing position. One out by Solomon James. Tried to be kicked off the ground there was Paredes. Kirby comes in to bundle up the South's opponent, and we'll have another restart. So third restart, and in less than a minute, one out by James again. Here they go. South Fremantle trying to move it forward, just work it forward. That's Newman with a new number. Strom overruns it. Nyhouse tried to get a hold of it. Shot. Oh, taken high, comes in, bobs up into the hands of Manfred Kelly, who can run into an open goal and pushes it right.
Yeah, some tired-looking bodies late in the third quarter out there. Just game's a bit stagnant, getting caught up underneath, but that was a real opportunity. The kick comes out, grandstand side. Dylan Lant there, 1-on-2, still battling in the contest, lays the tackle. He might have just slipped up high in the end, and it'll be a free kick to Salmeri for South Fremantle, who chips short. He's got Turnbull out wide in some space, and Turnbull about 60 metres out from goal. Now wheels around and kicks towards the top of the goal square. There's a pack of players there. The ball spills to the front. Again at the front of the pack, it's Kelly on the left foot, snaps towards goal. But once again, he's missed, this time to the near side. In fact, he's missed everything. It's out of bounds on the full. And it'll be Braden McLean to bring the ball back into play from that defensive back right forward, right pocket. Sorry.
Well, he missed one on the right and missed one on the left.
Yeah.
They've had 3 or 4 opportunities this quarter, South Fremantle, and haven't taken any of them.
No, and there's like only one scoring shot the difference. Mitchell Taylor, airport end, goes over the top Picks out Jared Stokes, who gets it on the second grab in front of Schleith. And so he looks upfield. He's got Lant, who gets it in front of Kelly. Good contest between those two. Dylan Lant, he's going to have to kick up line down the line. He's got Jackson Kelly there. Solomon James took front position. Off hands, though, punched away. Joseph Salmon, who's come on for an injured Harley Bennell. The handball, it's handballed out, rushed towards the line. Matty Shannon can't get a hold of it, and the ball will be thrown in. Harley Bennell off as a medical emergency, Salmon on, and the siren sounds to end the third quarter.
We're at three-quarter time. The NT side 22 points up, kicked 4 goals to none that quarter. South Fremantle only managed 2 points, but we'll be back shortly with the final quarter here at TIO Stadium. Welcome back. You're watching the AFL-NT's coverage of the 2023 Cazalys NTFL representative men's match from TIO Stadium here in Darwin. The NTFL men's side taking on South Fremantle, and the NTFL guys had a great third quarter. Now 22-point lead, kicking 4 goals to none in that quarter. And Ash, it's been a great game so far.
It has. I think we're going to see 22 points as a big margin to come back in a contest like this.
Brock Carter wins that hit out, but the bounce had favoured him pretty strongly, and it'll come back for a restart.
No hometown advantage here.
Umpire Tim Bitterscombe throws it up this time as Big James, uncontested in the end, wins the hit out down, but Territory first hands on the ball. A strong tackle again by Matt Shannon. Gee, he's been strong in the middle of the ground with the pressure that he's put on and the tackles that he's laid. He's given them no easy balls out of those centre stoppages whatsoever. So James again over the top, wins the hit out down. Turnbull at the bottom of the pack gets wrapped up straight away in the tackle, this time by Mitch Robinson, and we'll have a restart once again.
Yeah, the red and white's working very hard. James, one out. They've got a bit of work still to do though. 22 points down. It comes out to Braden McLean, the captain of the NT side. Jackson called as his target. Couldn't quite get it first time. Joseph Salmon on as an emergency. Handballs over the top to Stephen Motlop. It's going to bounce clear. Jaden Magro's got 3. The number 33, can he get his 4th? No, he goes inboard. Tapped on by Stokes to Calder. Loose on the ground. Socket off the ground by Darcy Hope as a goal.
Well, just the start that South Freo didn't need, Ash, as it was nothing pretty in it once again, but they just kept forcing the ball forward, forcing it forward, and eventually it just fell to the feet of Darcy Hope, and he kicked it from a couple of metres out. As you see, Jackson Calder, just a little fumble there, spilled out, and Hope in the right place at the right time.
Yeah. Brock Carter's just got off the ground. He's got a hold in his back, and there he got a knock in that first ruck contest. He's now walking back to the bench, but he was struggling as he came off.
Well, both NT ruckmen have had their work to do against Solomon James. We're just talking about it off air, but he's 21 years old, Solomon James, South Fremantle ruckman. He's only played 10 games of footy, if you can believe that. And so he's been one of their best tonight. Comes loose, though, in the hands of was that Fijo that's hurt himself there with the limp, or is that Shannon?
I think it's
punched
Shannon.
Away. It's Shannon.
Chris grabbed at a hamstring after he kicked that one.
Very much grabbed at it like someone had shot him in the back of the leg. Might try and work through it. Might just be a bit of cramp as well. We'll give that the benefit of the doubt. And the ball will be thrown in. James will go up against Calder. Calder's tried to set himself up in that front position, right forward pocket. Set up nice and high by the boundaries. One out by Solomon. Hall is back on after a heavy knock. And now Robinson grabs the back right of his leg. That's Mitch Robinson. And Aidan Hall back on. He took a heavy knock.
Yeah, I'm surprised he came back on at all.
Yeah, straight down the tunnel did he go. But Aidan Hall back in. Good field position for the Northern Territory. James just using his body there. Smothered off the boot by Magro. It comes out. Dylan Lant trying to tap it over the top. O'Hare is there. They're going to try and get themselves out of trouble, but Magro burrowing under. Second and third efforts. It gets punched back in board. Dragovic gives time to his teammate. They still can't get clean possession, South Fremantle. James has got to try and clean it up, but he runs straight into Darcy Hope, which is not good. And it's kicked out by... I didn't pick up the South player, but it's come outside the 50. Well, that's at least a release as they can run it away now through Bletchenden.
Bletchenden through the hands to Carr. Carr running on the outer side of the wing, kicks down towards the forward 50. Good use of the body down there by Schleith. Got rid of his opponent, but then couldn't control the ball. Working hard in defence. Mitch Taylor, some clever footwork. Chips it over to Bridie Philo, who goes the big barrel out of defence, out into the open spaces in front of Calder. Beautiful hands on the bounce. Gets the hand pass back here to Shannon, who looks to have recovered from what we thought was a hamstring injury. Hand passes over the top, but just misses Bowden there and enables Pearson to come in. And now they work it through the hands as Turnbull kicks long to the advantage of his teammate. That was a beautiful kick over the top, just weighted it perfectly. And now a real opportunity for South Freo to get their first goal of the second half, in fact, on the board. And it's the big fella Nathan Spooner, who was well positioned, but a great kick by Turnbull in, just weighted it over the top of the Territory opponent, and Spooner's taken the mark.
Well, I'm pretty sure that South officials would be happy with the form of Robbie Turnbull tonight. Nathan Spooner. He's got not much distance to cover. It's that danger zone, though, and he doesn't make any mistakes, which is handy for the Bulldogs.
That's Nathan Spooner's second goal for the night. And as I said, that's the first one for South Fremantle since about halfway through the second quarter.
Yeah, so that's right. And only one in the first quarter, kicked those 5 goals the second quarter, of course. So they haven't done much damage on the scoreboard apart from that second quarter. But this was a good build-up. And once again, Aidan Hall was involved, Ash.
Yeah, he was. And good for him to come back in, but they've had the runners. They had the runners at different times, but I just think that the game got away from them in that third quarter. Not quite sure what happened, but perhaps they got a bit of a serve at 3-quarter time, and they want to finish this off. And still, the margin is now still 22 points, and we have gone nearly. What have we gone here? Nearly 5.5 minutes. One out there by Solomon. James really has been impressive tonight, the big ruckman. Comes out the back, though, to Fijo. Dances around one. Gee, he looks good as Fijo looking for Salmon. Joseph Salmon. Gives it off to Yaron. Silky skills and touch. Now he kicks forward. Over the top, though, at the back was the South defender in Hilda. So Jack Hilda called to play on quickly. He goes out wide. Dylan Collis is there. And putting his opponent under pressure, which is Salmeri. And Collis was wrapped up. Dylan Lant came in to help. It's loose on the ground. Cleaned up, though, there by McGuilkin. South can again try and create something from nothing. Schleith with a handball off to his running teammate, who has 2 bounces. He goes in, he's got a centering kick in there, and he's looking inboard. Nyhouse just got a fist to it, punch away. They're going to get a shot at goal. They're going to have to work for it. Taylor wraps up his opponent, slings him out to the joy of the crowd. In there is Fijo. He got it again. Comes back to Taylor. Taylor over the top to a running Nicky Yaron. Yaron can look for Salmon. Salmon got one hand on it. Has it punched away from him and out of bounds. How good was Mitch Taylor just then?
Outstanding. Saved a goal there without a doubt, and kept going all the way, and then got the lucky bounce to get out of it. But outstanding football there by Taylor.
Been a great player for many years in the NTFL, and good again all night tonight as Kirby doing the ruck work. Vince gets his hand to the ball, tapped it down, but Kyle Russell chopped it off for South Fremantle. Trying to burst through there was Caleb Stevens. The ball came out to Thomas Schott, whose kick was smothered, and Fijo gets on the end of it. Hand passes across to Parnell, who swings the kick round towards Calder, who takes a falling mark, plays on straight away, kicks on the left. He's taken the ground as he kicked the ball, bounces into Magro's hands. He shrugs his opponent, runs inside 50, kicks towards goal. But he sprayed this one off, hands down, Ash.
That might have been more of a sealer than just the goal then, Stewie Davis. I can't go into that right straight away.
Yeah. But he's certainly been lively across half forward and damaging, hasn't he? But just missed on that occasion as the kick comes in. Collis over the top, thumps it forward. Ball spills to ground, and now the hook kick goes down towards half forward. Calder again getting involved, gets a hand pass over the top. Salmon at ground level couldn't trap it, but Schleith gets the hand pass out to James. James through to Turnbull once again. Beautiful foot skills by Turnbull. Finds his teammate Bletchenden out on the wing. He's just waiting for players to run forward now. Oh, his kick's just fallen short. Just a lazy one as Shot comes in to apply the pressure for the NT. Mitch Taylor lurking again. Traps the ball underneath. It spills out the back now as an opportunity. Nicky Yaron lays the tackle as the hand pass comes out. Gee, the pressure's fantastic from the NT here. Robbie Turnbull almost put the leg up to stop the player running towards him, but eventually he was tackled with the ball and didn't go over the boundary line. It's going to be a ball up.
Hasn't quite gone. He's going to ball it up. Two ruckies calling the ruckman in. It's not got out of bounds because whilst Turnbull there, umpire Bitterscombe had already stopped play. Turnbull looked like he was trying to score a try then. James wins out, brings it straight down. It's a hurried kick away, though, by Russell. Bouncing ball.
Parnell.
Yeah, Parnell got to it first, then got wrapped up quickly. And it's gone out of bounds again. And Parnell then lifting and causing, it was Bletchenden that actually was in there. But Parnell has been a steady defender tonight, as has it's been hard to find a defender in the NT side that hasn't contributed in some form. Brock Carter's back on and has won out, immediately had an impact. Salmon, having come on as an emergency, has made himself available to his teammates a fair bit since being on the field. And there's a run and bounce there by Fijo. He's really backed himself here and got into trouble as a consequence. It's still going to be loose on the ground. Now it's been picked up and gone. Waiting for it was Philo, perhaps too long. Turnbull over the top to a teammate out wide, which is Sloyth. He had space and time. Gives it away to a running teammate now in Sinnott. Sinnott kick is not good and has gone out of bounds on the full. Wasted opportunity, Stuart. Wasted.
Yeah, that's right. But the NT pressure is just cranked up in the second half, I think. And Ryan now, and they're used to the conditions and they're in season, as we talked about. But they've been impressive as Nyhouse brings the ball back into play, runs himself into a bit of trouble, and so his kick's chopped off. Comes to Schleith, who kicks on the run from inside 50. But again, they're not taking the opportunities that are presenting for them, and that one's a behind again.
No, they're just doing it. What have we got there? 18 scoring shots to 16. And comes to Salmon, holds it up for a little bit, then gives it off to his running teammate.
So it was Newman across to Shot, gets it on the bounce to Yaron, waits for it now, gives off to Jared Stokes. Jared Stokes running around the wing, kicks the ball high, inside forward 50. Calder gets his hands to it again, gets chopped away, and the ball spills to the ground. At ground level, Hope has the ball trapped underneath him. He's making like he's trying to get the ball out, but umpire's not having any of that, and it'll be a South Freo free kick at
and a 50 as well, because he didn't hand it back to him, which you're required to do.
Fair enough. And
first 50 of the night?
Yeah, yep. I think so. Yeah, that's right. So it's Chad Pearson who is the beneficiary of that 50-metre penalty. He chips short inside the centre circle and hits McQuilkin, who plays on straight away, goes long, looking down for the big fella. James gets his hands to the ball, couldn't get it on the second grab. Braden McLean at ground level got the hand pass out. Collis was slung to the ground after he got rid of the ball there.
Free kick's gone to South.
Yeah, incorrect disposal free kick, I think. And
yep.
Hayden Schleith, who's had a fair bit of the ball, Ash, and now an opportunity to get another goal on the board for South Freo.
Well, he covered it, and he covered a lot of territory early on in the game, but went a little bit missing there when they needed him to stand up, I think, especially in the second half of that third term. But he's back now and lining up for goals. So let's see what he can do. Can he put him on the board? Can he close up some of that margin? And he can. Margin. So it's 73 plays 57, Nick.
Yeah, it's getting closer. It's not all over yet, Schultz. That's his second goal of the game as well. So on top of Spooner, who's also their multiple goal scorer for South Fremantle. They needed that one desperately. They've had a couple of opportunities late in that final quarter, in the third quarter, and now this one. But, yep, incorrect disposal there.
Yeah, he wrapped him up.
Yep.
He wrapped him up and brought him to ground. Textbook tackle.
Yeah, he tried to get the hand pass out and it just spilled out, didn't it?
Yep.
So good decision, as they have been for most of the night. Ash, I think the umpires have been really good tonight.
Good crowd in. Look at that crowd there at TIO Stadium.
Breeze picked up now going to the left of screen. It's turned around over the night and it was coming across the ground in the last quarter, but now definitely going to the left of screen.
James wins out against Carter. He tries to tap it down, but it's stolen by Stokes onto Dylan Lant. Lant from 50 bombs it long into the goal square. Calder puts a hand up, can't get it on. It goes to the left through for a point.
Yeah, talked about the crowd, Ash. It's fantastic, the support that these games are getting, and it obviously means that they'll keep coming for years to come, as the Darwin crowd are really getting behind it. But in the meantime, it's worked around the outer side of the ground where Sinnott goes out wide, but just too wide, and it'll be a boundary throw-in on the outer wing.
Yeah, and the Signs, I think, would have earned their paycheck tonight. It's whilst the football conditions looks good, we're calling it from an air-conditioned commentary position. One out there loose. Turnbull diving off the ground, gave it off to his teammate in Maguire. Maguire then with a boot over the top. Was that Jaron Carr, actually? Hurried kick.
Oh, great pressure again.
Yeah, it was. They haven't stopped. They've been doing the little things, the 1%ers.
Yeah, Dylan Collis again. Who's moved from the wing to half back in the second half and just still racks up the possessions, doesn't he? But does the hard work as well, does the 1%ers, and he's been terrific tonight. So from
James doesn't have to take from position, does he, Stewie?
No,
Sorry.
Reaches over the top. And Dragovic at ground level couldn't keep it in play as... again, it goes over the boundary line, and it's a free kick though to
maybe there was
Dragovic.
A hold off the ball.
Could have been, but
didn't see a signal.
Dragovic deep on the outer side of the ground. Ball inside 50 now as it spills to the front of the pack at ground level. Good work by Kelly, but he's tackled to the ground. The ball spills out, and now the chance for Bleshenden, but Nick Yarran back there gets on the end of it. Hand passes across to Philo, who just bombs it forward. There's no NT players forward of the ball there, and the mark's taken by Maguire. Maguire straight up the centre of the ground, and he finds O'Hare, who's had a fair bit of the footy tonight as well. He goes long inside forward 50. Ball spills over the back of the pack. Lockie Taylor there gets a quick to it, out kick to it. A chance for South Freo now. Surely this one's a goal. Yes, it is, and I think the goal scorer might have been Dragovic, or is it Chase Bourne? Yeah, Chase Bourne.
Chase Bourne again gets his second.
Yeah, Chase Bourne is second, so 11 points in this now. We've still got about 8 or 9 minutes left to go in this game. Very important for the next goal. You would think NTFL would need it just to make sure that it's pretty comfortable, but South Fremantle will get it. We'll be right into this game. As I said, 11 points within just to the 15-minute mark.
It was similar to the goal that Bourne got in the second quarter, just in the right place for a small forward to be, and got on the end of it and finished. So probably hasn't had a lot of possessions in the game, but just there when he needed to be around goals.
He's in the Dockers train-on squad, is young Bourne. Solomon James just looking and talking to Turnbull about what do you want, where can I place it for you. Arnold Kirby in the ruck for the NT. James just taps it straight forward, then gets it back, comes out the back to Turnbull. Now they've been talking to Dragovic. Dragovic gives a quick hands off to his teammate Russell. Russell handball in, but it's going to be stolen by Dylan Lant, the thief. Then Lant just puts it up to Salmon, who drags it in. Well, the youngster just marked that with confidence and then turns and said, I'm having a shot.
Quality ball use once again going inside 50. Dylan Lant, it's he's just improved as the game's gone on, I think, and has been really influential probably since quarter time.
So Joseph Salmon will... Big opportunity here for the youngster. Sets that ball up. I think he's just in chasing distance. He pushed it off to the left and missed everything. It's gone out. In fact, it just skimmed that point post, the left-hand point post, and out of bounds on the full. So the Bulldogs will now need to bring it out. That's a great kick from full back, just quietly. And it's gone about 60 metres. And now it's over to Schloth. Diving Mitchell Taylor.
Fantastic.
Desperation.
Gee, they were out then out the back. If Taylor didn't get a hand to it, Schloth was just waiting for it to come through. But diving effort to get a fist to it and knock it out of bounds and force a stoppage.
It's 74 points for the NTFL men's side and 63 for South Fremantle. I think we put that down as a point before, but it actually hit the behind post.
So from the ruck contest, it's just paddled forward, and now South Freo going back inside 50 again. Newman gets under this one and just takes that mark on the chest uncontested, and he'll settle things down as the scoreboard ticks over 18.5 minutes. He's just looking to kill a bit of time, I think. Chips across to Mitch Taylor. They've both been terrific in defence tonight for the NT, and his kick out here to Bradley Stokes spilt the mark under pressure but recovered well and hits Collis on the chest outside of defensive 50 as he again slows things down. He's got a short option, goes to Michael Bowden out here at half back, and NT just looking to go long down the line now. Bowden goes inboard, in fact, to Calder, who made some space, and he got out. He's got Magro calling for it out inside 50, but decides to go wide instead to the outer side of the ground. Through the hands, the ball comes to Lant. Lant running to 50, kicks long towards goal, but it's going to fall short. Shot down there just gets a fist to the ball. The ball spills to ground at the top of the goal square. Scrambling forward in close, both sides trying to break it free. Brodie Frilo was trying to wrestle it out of there, but Paredes comes up with it from the bottom of the pack, hands it to umpire Bitterscombe, and it's a ball up.
Solomon James, two-handed tap out. Now they just want to get it out of there. Manfred Kelly is going to get it. Oh, he spills what he should have taken. Handball over the top. Collis comes in. Gives it out to Stokes. Stokes onto McLean. McLean just twivels and turns and goes looking for Paredes. Bounces off him. Kirby, the big fella, can't quite get it out. Comes to Magro, who balks once, balks life, then goes at goals and gets his fourth.
Yeah, popped up every quarter, Magro has, and it's looked very, very likely this quarter. He's had a couple of opportunities, but he's taken that one, and you had it pretty early, and you would say that's put down your glasses.
Yeah, that Jaden Magro goal in every quarter, but
let's watch this here.
Yeah, that's right. It's not all he's gone. Good hands there by Shot at the bottom of the pack, and Magro around the corner. But yeah, he's been a headache for the South Freo defence all night, and has been good enough to finish off his work. Probably had a couple of other opportunities. Could have had 6 or 7 maybe, but you know, it's a high pressure game, and he's been right up there with the best players on the ground, I would have thought, Ash.
Yeah, he did. He has, and he stood up and he missed one. He missed one to the left there of that goalpost. I think it was in the second term after he just already got 1 or 2. So very much a key player for the NT in setting themselves up, certainly in scoring. As it comes back out through the middle, going favouring, they're trying to win it out of there is the NT, and the player's been pinged, and he wasn't particularly happy about it. He's got to his feet, and that was Russell. Gives it back to Paredes. Paredes just wrapped him up and took him to ground. Had no chance to get rid of it, so Paredes just kicks over the top. Can't quite get a hold of it. Comes to Collis, who balks one way. He's looking for the big man Calder. He flies forward. Salmon is there. Can Salmon guide it through? And he can't. Scores a point.
So 12 goals, 10 NTFL. That's 82 points to 9 goals, 963. NTFL, we've got about a minute and a half to go, you'd say, this game.
So South Freo wasting no time, straight down the middle of the ground. Over the back as Parnell gets it off to Collis, looking for Taylor. The hand pass went behind him and picked up down there by Kelly, who dribbles it along the ground. It's all South Freo inside 50. It's a raffle here as Schleith hands it across to the big fella Strom, and Strom just strolls into goal and puts one on the board for South Freo. They're fourth for the quarter, so they've won the quarter, which they'd be pretty happy about. It's just let the game get away from them a bit in that third quarter, Nick.
Yeah, absolutely. They've kicking 1 goal in the first quarter didn't help them. They did really good in that second quarter, but of course only 2 points in the third quarter. Kicked a couple this one, but they've been out of the game since about halfway through the third quarter.
They have, and despite the work, despite the work of Strom and Schleith, they actually probably need them involved in that crucial third quarter. And it's not that they weren't involved. There was just greater effort. A greater effort was put in by the NT. They really set themselves up in that game. James, one out by Kirby though. Tipped over the top was Brodie. Philo comes to Salmon. Salmon's got some space here. He can run. And he does. He's looking for Calder. Good lead from him. It's punched away, though, defensively. The Bulldogs go out. The siren sounds to end the game here in the top end of Australia.
A 2-goal win there to the NTFL side. 2 goals for the NTFL in that quarter. And South Fremantle came back scoring 4 goals, 1. Goal scorers for the day for the NTFL. Harley Bennell got 1. Fijo got 1, Yaron got 1, Stephen Motlop got 1. A couple of goals for Calder and Hope, and 4 for Magro in an outstanding achievement. For the South Fremantle, single goal scorers in Belchin, Strom, O'Hare and Stevens, and a couple of multiple goal scorers in Spooner, Schultz and Bourne. Your best on ground tonight, Ash?
Yeah, good question, that one. I'm going to pass that to Stewie for the moment. I'm just doing something here. I'm just doing some sums.
Oh, look, best players for the NT. I think Jaden Magro obviously was outstanding all night, and their back 6 really all stood up. Mitchell Taylor and Brodie Newman and Braden McLean. Mitch Robinson early, I think he sat out most of the last quarter, but Stephen Motlop had some involvements, Jared Stokes, and Dylan Lant really worked his way into the game as well. But I think for South Freo, the big fella Solomon James was the standout. Zach Strom was strong all night. I like the game of Rowan O'Hare. He got involved a bit more as the game went on. And Salmeri got a bit of it as well, as did, of course, Aidan Hall, who was very good early and battled on after getting taking a strong hit. So in the end, a fantastic game of footy. NTFL have probably done a bit better than just hanging on, but South Freo kept battling all night, won the last quarter, kicked 4 goals to 2. So I think they'd be happy with what they get out of tonight's game, as will the NT and the crowd, of course.
Yeah, I thought the Northern Territory had a number of contributors across there. I think you've named pretty much everyone that I can think of, and I think that I would also like to mention Aidan Hall from South Fremantle. I thought that he actually was consistent. Yep. And Schleuf, they really needed him. He stood up in the first and second in the last quarter, but they really needed him across that 4-quarter effort. And I'm going to pay a special mention to Robbie Turnbull, who played for South Fremantle as well. Robbie had a great game, but I don't think he was... I think that he had the benefit of playing half a season already inside the NTFL, so he ran into this game with match fitness.
And after a long break, it's good. It was the 3rd rep game we've had back. I think the standard we've had tonight, the crowd we've had, well, let's hopefully get some more next year as well. It's been a pleasure to host you this evening. My name is Nick Danks. I was joined by Stuart Davies and Ashley Manakaris. Thanks a lot, guys. Thank you for joining us here for the 2023 Cazalys NTFL rep matches. We'll see you tomorrow night here at TIO Stadium to watch the NTFL women's side take on Claremont Tigers, the reigning WFL women's competition. Thanks a lot.
Post-game formalities, so please do hang around. We're going to very shortly announce the best on ground. right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll get underway with our best on ground. Tonight it is being voted by Ashley Manakaris, Peter Atkinson and Jordan McArdle. The best on ground for the men's NT rep game tonight. For the NTFL Buffaloes, number 33, Jaden Mangro.
Thanks to the South Freo boys for coming up. Awesome stuff and all the best for the season ahead. Well done to our boys. 3 state games on the trot, or rep games I should say. Everyone stick around for a few bundies. Cheers.
Yeah, it's a fantastic game from both teams. Freo, the win's just picked up for us now. But if you guys would like to send over a representative to have a chat about the game.
Congrats to the NTFL boys, awesome game and an awesome experience. Big thank you to everyone that come out today. It was an awesome experience for us to come up here and play, and hopefully it's something we can keep doing in the years to come. So thank you.
All right, it's time to hand over the shield to our winners. Can we please ask from the NTFL Buffaloes, the coach and the captain, to take your prize?
Yeah, firstly, thanks to the crowd for coming out, and hopefully we put on a good show for you. Thanks South Freo, obviously got strong links to the territory, and it's always a good match, representation of footy, and awesome to play against you guys, and to our boys, that's one, 3 in a row, let's go.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, give it up one more time for the NT team. And of course, South Freo, thank you for coming all the way from WA. It's a pleasure. Well, that just about wraps up tonight, but tomorrow the action is back here at TIO Stadium. Do make sure you come on back. The Buffaloes are taking on the Tigers, the Claremont Tigers, so make sure you come on down. Tickets are just from $2. Come on down and enjoy the match. The gates open at 2 with the curtaining open academy. Also, you can catch that match at 6 o'clock. Thanks for coming. Get home safe. We'll see you next time here at TIO Stadium.
really slick, are you? Oh yeah, take it down. Girl, I must warn you, I sense something strange in my mind. Yo, situation is, let's cure it 'cause we're running out of time. It's all so beautiful, relationships they seem from the start. It's all so when love is not together from the heart. Check it out. It's driving me out of my mind. That's why it's hard for me to find. Can't get it out of my head. Miss her, kiss her, love her. That girl is poison. Never trust a big button smile. That girl is poison. If I were you, I'd take precaution before I step to meet my girl. You know, 'cause in some you'll think she's the best thing in the world. She's so she'll drive you right out of your mind, steal your heart when you're blind. Beware, she's scheming. She'll make you think you're dreaming. You'll fall in love and you'll be screaming, demon. Poison, deadly, moving it slow. Looking for a mellow fellow like the vote getting paid late, so better lay low. Scheming on hot money and the whole shit. The low pro hoe should be cut like an afro. So what you saying, huh? She's winning to you, but I know she's a loser. How did you know? Me and the crew used to do her. I was at the bar, shake bigger and taking them all. And that night, I played the wall. Checking out the fellas, the highs and lows. Keeping one eye open, still clocking the hoes. There was one particular girl that stood out from the rest. Poison ass can be with a high power chest. Michael Biggins said, and I'm running the show. Bell, Biff DeVoe. Now you know. Yo, slick, blow. It's driving me out of my mind. That's why it's hard for me to find. Can't get it out of my head. Miss her, kiss her, love her. That girl is poison. You never trust a big button to smile. She's dangerous. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, fellas, that was another dope one. You know what I'm saying, right? Yeah, baby, they in full effect. Yo, what's up to Ralph T and Johnny G? Yeah, and I can't forget about my boy B Brown. And the whole in the crew. All you've got is this moment. 21st century's yesterday. You can care all you want. Everybody does, yeah, that's okay, yeah. So slide over here and give me a moment. Your moves are so raw. I've got to let you know. I've got to let you know. You're one of my kind. I need you tonight, 'cause I'm not sleeping.
There's something about you, girl, that makes me sweat. I'm lonely. Can't think at all. Gonna live my life. So slide over here and give me a moment. Your moves are so raw. I've got to let you know. I've got to let you know. You're my kind. Oh. I need you tonight, 'cause I'm not sleeping. There's something about you, girl, that makes me sweat. So how do you feel? I'm lonely. What do you think? Can't think at all. What you gonna do? Gonna live my life. I'm lonely. Can't think at all. What you gonna do? Gonna live my life. So slide over here and give me a moment. Your moves are so raw. I've got to let you know. I've got to let you know. So slide over here and give me a moment. I've got to let you know. I've got to let you know. 6 years I've been in the desert, and every night I dream of the sea. They say home is where you find it. Will this place ever satisfy me? For I come from the soul